Alright, hey you guys, it's been a very long time. I am sorry. You know what? This whole YouTube thing, it takes a lot of time to make a video, and it's hard to get back from school and motivate myself to come back and actually film something versus fall asleep on my bed. So if you guys have been following my journey, especially when I put out vlogs, you've seen that my dog Aspen has been dealing with some allergy issues. And so I thought that this would be a perfect opportunity to maybe talk a bit about allergies, put out another educational video because I know some of you really like that stuff, and just talk about something that is actually very common in dogs. So let's get started. So basically what happens when an animal has an allergy to something is that the immune system responds in a very abnormal way. So something that typically would not cause any issues mounts an immune response, and this is through an antibody called IgE, immunoglobulin E. And when this antibody responds, there is kind of like a cascading effect where it finally results in the release of histamine and other chemicals which cause inflammation. And so this is what's going to cause all of the symptoms that you see with an animal that has an allergic response. Now, a lot of people are shocked when their animal develops an allergy because they think to themselves, well, my dog's been eating the same thing for the past 3 years. How in the world does it have an allergy now? And the sad truth about allergies is that an animal can develop an allergy at any point in their life. It's actually more common to develop an allergy after 6 months of age for a dog, and specifically between the 1 to 3 year age range. So your dog can really develop an allergy at any point. So in this video, I'm not going to be talking about anaphylactic reactions because that's a whole thing in itself. But I am going to be talking about skin allergies, which are basically the most common type of allergy in dogs. So what are some signs and symptoms that you want to watch out for if you think that your dog has an allergy or may have an allergy? And the most common thing is itchiness. So you can have itchiness at the skin, you can have itchiness at the eyes and at the face. Dogs respond a lot by licking at their feet or their paws and at other areas on their body. You can also see hives developing, and you might see swelling of the lips or any part of the face, actually, the eyelids, the ears, and that's all a response to the release of histamine. You might also see red inflamed skin and sneezing from your dog, and some more uncommon symptoms, but they're still associated with allergies, would be things like diarrhea and vomiting. Now, these things can be caused by other things besides allergies. So it's important to keep that in mind, but if your dog is experiencing any of this, they may have an allergy. So the 3 most common causes of skin allergies in dogs are responses to ectoparasites. So your dog's immune response to having fleas on them, for example. And this is a very easy thing to fix, and celebrate if this is actually the cause of the issues with your dog, because it can be fixed very quickly. You basically identify ectoparasites on your animal and treat accordingly. Get rid of the fleas if they're causing your dog to be itchy, and the problem should resolve itself. So the second cause, and this one is very stressful. It is what I'm probably going through with my dog, but it is food allergies. And this is very difficult to work through. If you believe your dog has a food allergy, it's going to take a lot of time to figure this thing out. You just have to be really patient with it. So the most common causes of food allergies in dogs are related to animal proteins. So this is usually chicken, beef, eggs, or dairy products. And the only reason why it's these 4 is because those are the most common things that you find in dog foods. So your dog will have been exposed to these things more often, and so they are more likely to develop an allergy to these 4 things. Now, it's very uncommon to have an allergy that arises from a carbohydrate. Specifically, a lot of people talk about grains and grain-free diets. It's a very uncommon allergy for dogs to have. Typically, if your dog has an allergy, most likely it is due to an animal protein. So what does that mean when you have to then figure out what is causing this allergy in your dog. Basically, what a vet's going to suggest that you do is put them on an elimination diet. And what this means is that you're going to put your dog on a diet where there's only one source of protein. And that protein source is going to be an uncommon protein source. So for example, duck is one of them. And so you're going to feed your dog this strict diet where they don't receive any outside food sources whatsoever. That means no treats, no licking of plates from the dinner table, nothing like that. They're just going to receive that one protein source from the food that your vet gives you. Or if you decide to go with a home-based diet, you're going to give them one carbohydrate source and one protein source in their diet, and that's it. That's it. And you do that for 8 to 12 weeks, and it's a very strict diet. Any other sources of protein that your dog might be exposed to during those 8 to 12 weeks is going to completely throw off that diet trial. So you have to be really careful. So if that diet helps in the end, then you start to introduce things very slowly so that you can get a bit more variety in your dog's diet. But once you introduce one thing and your dog's skin condition goes back to what it was before, then you are starting to figure out what is causing that allergy. But it's a super long and complicated process, and it might not even give you an answer, because in the end, your dog's allergic condition could be due to the third most common reason for skin allergies, and that would be environmental allergies. Okay, so if your dog has an environmental allergy, then that means that they can be responding to things like pollen, grass, anything in their environment, and that presents a whole other situation in itself. Now, typically a vet's going to eliminate the first 2 common causes before they start testing for environmental allergens. And you can do a test where it's an intradermal skin test, and they will have little patches on your dog's skin where they introduce your dog's skin to a variety of different, most common environmental allergens, and you'll start to see redness and swelling in the areas where your dog is reacting, and that can give you a good sign of what is causing these allergies. Okay, so if your dog has an environmental allergy, what can help? Sometimes bathing the dog often can help because it's going to take away anything that's been in contact with the skin. Also, there's something called a desensitization therapy, which is basically when they inject small amounts of the allergen into the skin of your dog, and it allows the immune response to become more normalized. I hate this thing so much. All right, you guys, so my furnace just kicked in. Kind of the sucky thing about actually living in a basement suite. So I thought that I'd end the video here. Hopefully this was helpful for you. I know that a lot of people are going through the same thing that I'm going through with my dog, and it is a process. It takes a lot of time to get through it, but hopefully we're all successful in figuring out what in the world is causing these issues with our dogs, and they can live happy and healthy and comfortable lives. It's always good to have a bit more information. So I will leave you guys with that, and I'll see you in another video very soon.